With the removal of the rest system and the long-awaited return of Starlight, it's time for me to return to the MD mines. However, instead of tackling it all at once, this time I'll make them into separate videos for both easier consumption and editing. This video will focus on the returning mechanic Starlight. Usually when a new mirror dungeon comes out, we see big changes in how they work. This time around it's not really the case. The new Starlight mechanic mostly functions as a storage for rest bonus, which is a huge improvement over what we had last MD, since you no longer need 5 runs between solos to have the graces active. I'm a bit sad we don't get to see the old Starlight skill tree of past MDs, but this is still pretty damn good. And we also have a few more uses for it. You can now use Starlight to search for the team pack you want to go to, instead of relying on refreshes to not mess up your run. The cost of Starlight does go up whenever you use this function, so try not to end up broke. And you can also spend Starlight to improve the chance of using the correct gift. The grace system is pretty much the same as before, except we can use our Starlight storage to pay for them, or we can take even less than what's available and gain some extra Starlight for future runs. On screen right now is what I normally take with me into the dungeon nowadays, so if that's all you cared for, you can click off now. The rest of the video will be a dive into the grace system for solos. Something important to mention, the first upgrade doubles, while the second upgrade triples the cost of Starlight required to bring a grace in. Star of the Beginning is the better than Starlight option, and it's not even close. Just the extra gift shop sell makes it worth taking, everything else are the cherries on top. Shop refreshes can cost a lot, and the free one encourages gambling for something more useful to buy, and with the extra starting cost you might just be able to afford them. The extra team pack selection is pretty great, but it's slightly less useful thanks to the ability to search for packs. The first upgrade increases the starting cost by 100, while the second also adds an extra refresh to shops. I don't think the upgrades are that good, but at the same time it's only just 10 or 20 extra Starlight for the upgrades, so while I do think the default is a mistake, the upgrades are a maybe. Cumulating Starcloud is just not good. The money you get from it is basically nothing, and the extra selling price doesn't make it worth taking. And the upgraded versions aren't any better. I just wouldn't take this into a run and save 10 to 30 Starlight. Interstellar Travel is interesting. I learned to appreciate its effect on preventing the brick solo run by the end of the last MD, and to be fair, it's still good at it. However, you can now also search for the pack you want to take on, and for that reason, I will only take Interstellar Travel if I have 20 Starlights to spare, because while searching is generally better, you can't abuse it all the time due to the cost of it increasing. Interstellar Travel only costs 20, and you can still search for a pack if you didn't get one you can do after all the extra refreshes. The upgraded versions only offer 1 or 2 extra refreshes, since the clash power only applies to new or unvisited packs. I don't think they're worth it even on Infinity mode. Star Shower is peak, especially if you're running Fluorescent Lamp with Barb Lasso. The upgraded versions give 100 or 300 more cost at the start and add 75 or 150 cost to the Starlight reward cards after battles. Honestly, for only 20 Starlight, the first upgrade is already worth it for the extra cost with picking more Starlight, and the second upgrade is something I'll likely be picking in most of my runs. Binary Starshop is probably my favorite grace. A lot of extra money, especially on Infinity mode, 1 more gift in the shop, and a better chance for higher tier gifts to appear, like Lunar Memory. The first upgrade increases the cost gain by 10%, while the second slaps on another 10%. And you also get some extra cost when you enter a shop based on the sum of your ego gift tiers. It's pretty good, but I'd only take it for Infinity mode. For only floor 5, the regular version is more than enough. It is, in my opinion, the best starting grace in the game. And I wish I could say the same about Moonstar Shop, but it just isn't worth 30 Starlight. The only way it becomes good is by giving you Zippo Lighter or Coffee and Cranes or even Lithograph, but the chance of that happening is pretty low and the free keyword refresh doesn't make up for it. The upgraded version for 30 or 60 more gives you 2 or 3 random tier 1 gifts instead of just 1, but my previous point still stands. I'd only take it for particularly bad IDs like LCB or Mariachi Sinclair, because you can reroll your runs for free until you get a healing and a resource generating gift with it. The extra keyword refreshes and the extra chance for the super shop makes it a lot better than it was, but the 60 or 90 Starlight it now needs is diabolical. Upon further consideration, Favor of the Nebulae honestly fell off in my eyes. It's 7 level ups when you reach floor 5 and 8 once you start parallel superposition mode. It will make you tankier and lets you deal more damage and clash higher with how offense level works, but I would only take it on IDs that have a really hard time staying alive and you need to use patrolling flashlight to even stay in the fight. Not worth the 40 Starlight for solos. The upgraded versions are only for Infinity mode. The first upgrade gives 12 levels total when reaching floor 10, while the second upgrade gives plus 3 when entering floor 6, making the total level ups 15 when reaching floor 10. Still a no from me, chief. Starlight Guidance on the other hand is worth the 40 Starlight, because you get all of its effects instantly, you don't need to wait for them to ramp up, and as I like to say, the first floor is usually the hardest part of a run, due to lacking resources, gifts and support passives from your bench IDs. I think it's worth taking just for the 1 protection alone, but the rest are also pretty good to have. The upgrade for 80 more gives all the stats plus 1. If you can keep a good stockpile of Starlight, then I believe this is a worthwhile upgrade, as it gives both more survivability and more damage that every ID can benefit from. Oh, the first upgrade only increases clash power and max speed, which is the much less important part of this grace. I would either not upgrade it or go straight for the second upgrade. Chance Comet is for the people who like to gamble. I am not one of those people. It is probably really great if you want to aim for floor 10 and abuse the fusion mechanic, but I don't feel it's necessary to bring Chance Comet to be able to do that. Even though I have changed my ways since the MD5 guide about fusion, meaning I do fuse from time to time, I still wouldn't recommend spending 50 Starlight on this. The upgraded versions lets you fuse more betterer for 100 or 150 Starlight. What the fuck? Perfected Possibility is still overpriced. The team pack selection fell off, you don't really need 3 starting gifts, and if you just want 2, then Star Travel is miles above this one. On screen are the tier 3 gifts. On screen are the tier 3 gifts you can get from Perfected Possibility. On screen are the tier 3 gifts. On screen are the tier 3 gifts you can. On screen. Fuck. You better aim damage. Yeah. On screen are the tier 3 gifts you can get from Perfected Possibility, which is extremely funny because the physical damage keywords don't have 3 tier 3 gifts, only 2 and a tier 2 as a filler. Not even Project Moon themselves thought about people using this grace. The Rupture tier 3s are pretty damn good, but most of the time you choose the Rupture keyword because of Fluorescent Lamp working on every ID, giving infinity speed, much like the Red Mist, and a lot of damage ups, much unlike the Red Mist, and not because you are actually playing a Rupture ID. The upgraded versions let you get 2 or all 3 gifts instead of just 1. They also cost 120 or 180 Starlight. No. So, should you use 930 Starlight to get all the buffs? Maybe once just to see how ridiculous of a run you could get, but in general, no. The upgrade system made already good graces even better, and the graces that were kinda shit are still kinda shit, but now they cost double or triple the price. Moonstar Shop is the exception. It now lets you cheese or get into runs faster by possibly giving you both a healing and a resource generator gift. I still think it's a great addition for solos because there are some IDs that really need all the help they can get. And honestly, it is pretty funny to just be able to go all in on a single ID. And that about does it. The next video will be a more in-depth look at bench IDs, specifically support passives for solos. As always, leave your questions, complaints and suggestions down below. I do try my best to read every comment you guys leave, and it is because of you, wonderful people, that I even started using Fusion and changed my mind about a lot of things when it comes to soloing. I try to stream solos at least once a week, and I also plan on starting a lobotomy playthrough to finally finish that torture device disguised as a game sometime in the near future. I've been Silver, see you around.